if you're looking to change up your roost bars, then definitely look into this. So when you spray it, it turns darker.
I bought this long blade.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Today, I wanted to just make a quick little video on how we did our roost bars for our new chicken coop. Roost bars, we have done all kinds of roost bars in the past, over decades of keeping chickens, and we have done a style this time that we've never done before. You know, roost bars, there are some main tips about roost bars, and then there's just some other things that actually just work for your individual coop and your individual birds. Some things that you absolutely don't ever want to do for roost bars would be to make roost bars out of something like metal or something like that that transfers the heat and the cold, specifically for the winter time, because that metal could cause frostbite, you know, on their feet so fast, even if they're setting on them. So metal bars are just a huge no-no. Even PVC, things like that could possibly work. I would probably wrap it in like a rope or something, so the chickens actually had something to kind of grip onto, so it wasn't so slick. You don't want nicks in that. Sorry guys, my throat. I hope I don't lose my voice. You wouldn't want nicks or cuts in a PVC or something like that, because that could end up injuring their foot to a point, or just scratching it or something. It could possibly create a bumblefoot issue. You always want to watch what the birds are actually standing on, or make sure there's not sharp stuff going on. Anyway, so the best things would be like wood, tree branches, 2x4s, 2x2s, even like bamboo, things like that. So those are great options for roost bars. We have done a lot of those different types in the past. This time for our new coop, we made out of 2x4s. So let's see if I can get through this with my voice, or lack of voice anyway. So Monty basically made a square rectangle out of 2x4s, and then he put a brace through the middle, and I think he actually kind of made a cross in the middle, and that's going to be the roost. The inside was actually 2x2s, but the frame itself is 2x4s, and he just screwed those together simple. And then I just painted them. I put a good coat of paint on them, you know, sanded them down a little bit to where edges were smooth and all that. And then he made one leg to kick down. It's basically it's a bolt. It's bolted with some washers, and that way it is able to swing down and swing up. And then he braced the wall. So the main thing is we hinged our roost bars to the wall So, and the whole purpose of that was to be able to, when I'm in there cleaning and sweeping and scooping out the bedding and all the poop, I can actually lift that roost bar up, and there's a hook on the wall. He put a hook up there where it will hold that roost, that whole frame, and then the leg drops down flat. So it's up against the wall, so I can get in there and I can scoop out all the stuff. I have full range in that coop. I am not inhibited by legs and things like that, like I was in the old one. So that design is absolutely wonderful. It is a game changer for cleaning out the coop and just being able to get in there and have the space you need. Going to get the remote for the door. That's the remote for our coop doors. And I'm going to close it so I can open this main door right here and I don't have any chickens trying to get in. Lift and hook. And here's the leg. Open that and I just push it down. So now you've got total room in here. Love it. Now this bedding is horse pellet, like stall bedding, and it's just compressed pine. And so it's going to go, for now it's going to go in my raised beds for the winter, but it would be great in the compost pile. See how you need, if you're going to scoop stuff out of the coop, you need the space. It helps so much having space, especially if you're using like a shovel, especially a big 2-foot snow shovel. Well, it's probably not quite 2 foot, but close enough. I'm going to turn the fan on and open the windows because it's getting dusty. I have 4 windows open, oscillating fan up high in front of 2 vents. I'll show you those. And that way it helps to draw that dust and everything out of here. I'm just using protein tubs to put the debris in. Trying to get it where y'all can see, but you're not so far back. Look at these feathers, if they don't all blow away. So much molting, but they will be great in the garden. Okay, so here is the horse stall bedding pellets. They might be called a couple of different things. This is what they look like. They swell up and dry and become powdery when the droppings fall on them. So it's not wet and yucky. It's dry. And so as the saw pellet, the pine pellets swell up and get so expanded, it turns into sawdust. And so basically, that's why I wanted to go ahead and clean this up, because I had so much sawdust coming up in here. Okay, now here's our bags. I've got my extra bags in here. Ours are the Ranch Pro, and it's from Atwood's if you have that in your area. But it's 100% pine, quality pine, Ranch Pro bedding. And I will do this coop also. And I do have chicks. I've got 4 chicks in here. These are mosaics. And I will be doing theirs too, but right now I'm getting the big girls done. I have always done the deep litter method in the winter time. And the one thing about it is that with that deep litter, it stays moist. You know, you just add bedding on top of your old bedding, and it does not dry out. It also doesn't dry out with straw or, you know, sawdust. I used to have a friend who had, I could always get sawdust. It wasn't really the dust, but it was like the saw shavings, and that's good too. But once it gets wet, it's wet and it doesn't dry out real well. So cleaning out your coop is extremely heavy. The deep litter method, you're just adding more on top, and it keeps getting more compressed and compressed the more the chickens poop on it. And you add more, they poop more. It never has a chance to dry out. So with this pine, you know, the pellet bedding, what I'm seeing is, number one, it's not super light. These bags are 50 pounds, and there's a few bags in here, so it is heavy because it's got poop with it, and it originally started out at 50 pounds a bag. So we've got over 100 pounds in here. But it's dry. I can't imagine how heavy this would be if it was all wet and damp. And so, especially going into the winter, this is so encouraging to me. The whole reason we have hinged roost bars is because of the enormous ease of getting in here, cleaning your coop out. Even if, so I will touch base on these poop catch, these little drop cloths that I put in a moment. But the ease of getting in here and literally being able to work this whole area, get underneath the bars, all of that, whether I'm deep cleaning, whether I'm going to disinfect it, whatever, I'm able to get in here and move around. I am so amazed and so happy with these hinged roost bars. So definitely you guys have got to try this. If you have the ability to just get 2 hinges or 2 good size hinges, 3 hinges, whatever it might be, and hinge your roost bars. And now we did specifically build these roost bars in a frame, a square frame, and we didn't leave our roost bars stared or stair-stepped. I've always had them stair-stepped, thinking that they liked the tall ones and short ones and all that. And the chickens don't need that. I'm all for making the coop easier for me, cleaning wise, all of that. And doing this version than just giving them the ability to get up and down in height on elevated, staggered roost bars. I have had birds injured because they get so picky and they push each other off and everything. And so I am really liking this all one playing field, all one size for the birds, because number one, for me, it makes it easier, and I'm the one that's got to get in here and clean them. So more in a minute, and I will talk about these poop cloths. These poop drop cloths. Okay, we'll try this again. Let me address this poop drop cloth, which I'm actually going to take down. I've just got it stapled on the wall right now. In theory, it works great. but there were a few drawbacks here in my coop. One being when your birds are arguing a little bit and they can push each other off the roost, and mine do it all the time. Well, your birds are going to land in this drop cloth, and of course your poop and everything, it did great catching the poop. With this shower curtain, these are just cheap $4 shower curtains I got off Amazon. They tear it. Their feet, their claws, tear the plastic. So it's only a matter of time before you start getting claw marks all in that, because they have to be able to grab on to get back up on the roost. They're not smart enough to go down and hop out the end. Also, what really didn't work for me is I had one girl start hopping up in here during the day, and she was digging around and scratching in all the poop, thinking she was going to find grain or scratch or whatever. I don't know what. So she was kicking some out. I caught her doing that twice. I just caught one doing that. So I went ahead and I just cut it at the bottom. And for now, I've just left it to keep the wall clean. I am going to put a new one up. And this one does not go all the way to the floor. So I bought extras when I bought them because I wasn't sure how many I would need. I'm going to go ahead and put a clean one up here. And that way, at least it protects the wall from any of their droppings. In theory, the poop, what do we call it? It's the poop cloth. It works, but I didn't like how my chickens were starting to get up in there, and it was tearing anyway. Now, the good friend that told me about these drop cloths, she actually used landscape fabric, so maybe that is better. I might try something like that later, but I do have something else in mind where I'm actually thinking about building onto the bottom of this frame and putting a solid board where I can then put some, whether I go ahead and put the pellets back in there, and that way I can kind of just scoop it out, scoop out the dried poop, and it's less to have to clean out on the floor to put in my raised beds or my compost pile. So I'm kind of leaning towards doing that. I like that idea because I just didn't like the whole idea of that drop cloth and them getting up in there and scratching around in that. So that's my drawback to this poop cloth, this poop drape. I literally just have this little hook, and I unhooked it, and I lean this down. Now I do have to kind of, the leg swings, so I'll do that. And then I'm going to pull this off. I'm going to leave the staples in here at the moment because I don't have the screwdriver in here. Oh, okay. Now I'm going to lift this back up and hook it, and it's nice and hooked, and now I can just pull this out. I actually slit this from the top down just as much as I needed it to come up, and I put it around those hinges, so now I can just pull it back through. And I'm not going to touch that front side and get the back side. I spent like $4 on these drop cloths or shower curtains, so I'm not worried about tossing it. Okay, a little tip. I'm going to push that up. A little tip is I keep a blade. You could have a what are they called, the little razor knives, the kind that you can run up and down. I had one out here for a while, but I've always kept a blade out here, and I just kind of put it up high where the kiddos can't get it. And that way, I can cut my bags open. So this way, it's easy. I can cut my bags open and I'm not fighting with the bags. And I know I'm going to use this whole bag. So put this back up. Before I had grandbabies running around the coop, I could put them in the window sills, but not with grandbabies. Now I do go heavy under the roost bars, but you're going to see the trick to these pellets. Might only do half a bag on this one. Okay, you can see there are some thin spots in here. You know, they're going to move around. Now, these things are hard as can be. Hard. They're like little, you know, I was worried, are the chickens going to slip around on them? They're not. But let me show you what turns this bedding into just the awesome, the awesome stuff it is. This is the trick. You spray your bedding down just a little bit till it just starts to absorb a tad, and then it takes that hard compressed edge off of it, and it just helps it to fluff up, and it is so amazing. I was shocked when I learned how to do this. One of my good friends, thank you Annie and Brandy, who also has this technique, they showed this to me, and so it's by far the best we have ever used. So and you don't use a lot, it doesn't take much, but you can see the color change. And it's really just landing on the top layers. I want to see if you can tell the difference. So right now, you can see how this is all light colored. That's lighter than all of this. All of this is lighter because I've just sprayed it, and it's actually starting to swell up and take that rough edge off. This hard edge. It's getting softer. It's getting lighter where it was wet. And it's not wet at all. It's just so wild. Okay, let me see if I can give you a... So when you spray it, it turns darker. And you can keep going back over this if you want it a little fluffier. So I just keep this, you know, this little this happens to be a 2-gallon. So let's go back, hit more of this. Okay, now it is puffing up. You might think this is a lot of water. I was so sparingly when I did it for the first time or two, but it really, let's see. Okay, so it's just amazing. And that's all you got to do. So I will come back over here. Let me come out. And my hinge, and I just brought it down. And I do have to come over here and adjust this leg, and we like it to be right in the corner. So this hinged roost bar system is the best upgrade we have made to any of our coops, not counting the automatic doors. That's just a given. I can't imagine going back to the days where I had to manually go in and out to open and close up the chickens. And we've already got one video on our Farm Light automatic coop doors. If you're looking to change up your roost bars, then definitely look into this. It is so easy. It was so easy for Monty to build. I painted it up, and then he literally just mounted it on the wall, and then he put this leg, the support leg, the diagonal of it. But it is by far, this coop has been a game changer, and it is my ultimate dream coop. Try it. It's amazing. And then don't forget, give us your comments. Give me your thoughts and your ideas on this. Or if you have tried something similar to this, if you've experienced, your roost bars, the ones that you really have hated or didn't work at all for you, or the ones that did. And if you've got a great system that's working for you, we would love to hear it. Also, the bedding, I know, going into the bedding and stuff, that was just such it was kind of part of it since we were cleaning the coop. And these animal bedding pellets are so much better than the pine chips or pine flakes. And so let me know what you think about that, if you've tried that Farm Light coop door. We will post that will be posted up here or here, whichever one. So be sure to watch that one, see how easy it is. Monty did a great job just showing how to install it and how to run it. They were so easy. We may be putting in a third one later for this nursery area when we get them a section. Anyway, guys, that's about all. I will be doing a coop tour of the whole build out here very soon, hopefully next week, and we'll kind of go over everything that we did when we built this building out for them. And I know you're getting a good chunk of it, just me doing the different sections, but we are about ready to do a whole coop tour. So be on the lookout for that. Until next time, until next week, guys, y'all take care and check out our lives if you haven't been able to catch up the live streams. They will, you can just catch us, and it's just catching up with Chit Chat. So y'all take care, be blessed, and have a wonderful week, and we will catch you on the next one. Thanks.